Good afternoon and welcome to Halacha Day number 688. A halacha that keeps the Yetzer Hara away. And because we've been learning these complicated laws together, the laws concerning the mourner's Kaddish, it's becoming clearer and clearer. And I know that if someone just tuned in today for the first time, you're going to get very confused. But those who've been listening, hopefully you'll catch this halacha too. A resident mourner, someone who lives in the town, let's say Houston, takes precedence over a visitor who's also mourning, unless the visitor is observing Shiva. The visitor's within their 7 days, then the visitor takes precedence. Otherwise, resident versus visitor, resident takes precedence. Regarding a resident and a visitor who are observing yahrzeit, the anniversary of the parent's death, the visitor has no rights whatsoever. If there is a resident observing shloshim, resident within the 30 days, or a resident observing the year of mourning after the 30 days, and there is a visitor observing yahrzeit, the visitor is entitled to one kaddish, which was a similar halacha like we said before. Right? Shloshim, yahrzeit, give that yahrzeit at least one kaddish, certainly if he's a resident, but even if he's a visitor. Okay, and we're going to see you're supposed to give him the first kaddish. And if there's a resident observing yahrzeit and another resident observing shloshim, in that case we know the shloshim takes precedence, and a visitor observing yahrzeit, so now you have two people observing yahrzeit, one a resident, one a visitor. The visitor also says one kaddish, and the resident observing yahrzeit cannot say to the visitor, I have precedence over you. For the visitor can answer, look, quote, I did not take this kaddish from you, but from the one observing shloshim. Meaning, look, you're still getting your kaddish. The kaddish I'm saying, says the visitor, is just taking away from the kaddish, one of the kaddishim of the shloshim, right? The resident observing yahrzeit says the first kaddish, and the visitor yahrzeit the second kaddish, and the one observing shloshim the third kaddish. And we already learned that even though technically the person in the shloshim in the 30 days has precedence, but the truth is he can always say kaddishim the next day, whereas the people observing yahrzeit have only that day, because it's the anniversary of their parents' death. Thanks for listening. That was 688, a little more complicated, but I think we got it. To sponsor for Halacha, $36, $100 for the gold. We'll see you tomorrow.